Hello, Aries, and welcome to your 2025 sneak peek reading. In this reading, we're going to be talking all about the upcoming year for you, the themes and energies that you're going to be working with. We're also going to talk a little bit about the astrology that you have coming up, as well as the blessings coming in for you this year and what it is that you do not see coming. This is going to be a crazy year for you, Aries. You have some of the hottest astrology of any of the zodiac signs. You and Pisces are really in it. You are in the soup right now, my friends. All right. And I'm not sure if my mood and my energy today is reflective of what you guys are going to be going through. I kind of feel that it might be. There's no accidents when it comes to any of this. Like, I am literally in my biggest don't give a fuck energy right now. Like, I didn't put on a bra. I have like no makeup on. I threw a tiny little bit of mascara on for you guys. But honestly, I'm just like roughing it. And I don't even care. I'm not even concerned in the least. And I feel like that's how you guys are going to be as well. You're just going to be showing up for it. You're going to be doing the damn thing. You're going to have so much going on, so much powerful transformation, so much energizing change, and really that energy of just not caring what anybody else thinks. And this is an energy that Aries is generally known for, but it doesn't necessarily always mean that like you're able to fully embody that, right? But that is really honestly one of the goals of Aries energy, is to just really not care what anybody else thinks, to do what you need to do for you, to understand the importance of living your passions, of going after your drives, your desires, of exerting your will, beginning to understand and work with that masculine energy, what it means to be the fulfiller of our own needs, what it means to strike out on our own in the world, what it means to start understanding ourselves through our impulses, through our desires, and like we said, the capitalizing and acting upon them. So you guys are going to be the trailblazers for 2025 in a lot of ways. We have Neptune moving into your sign on the 30th of March. We also have Saturn moving into your sign in May. So these are massive energies, and they will retrograde back into Pisces and then move back into your sign. All right. But like, even when they, like, you're going to be feeling that sweep between Pisces and Aries, especially those of you who have planets in the earlier points of Aries. So this would be like the first 10 degrees, what we would call the first decan of Aries. You guys are going to be feeling it even with those retrogrades. You got a Mercury retrograde in your sign. All right. I mean, I'm going to give you guys some of the dates here. And then, I forgot to channel. I've been channeling words for the signs. I forgot to do that. So we're just going to do that. We're just going to fly off the cuff with that after I give you guys some of this astrology here. And then, of course, we are going to be pulling some cards. So let's see here. As we said, we have, so the North Node has been in your sign, Aries. The North Node on the 11th is switching to the sign of Pisces. So it's sort of passing the torch. And we've talked about this energy with Neptune. As the North Node and Neptune begin to cross paths with each other, the North Node having been in your sign, really revitalized, really energized by your energy, now shifting into Pisces as Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, moves into your sign. The last time Neptune was in your sign, Aries, was in the 1860s. All right, so this is fucking huge. There are people who have lived upon this planet who have never seen Neptune within the sign of Aries in their lifetime. All right, a lot of those middle incarnations, right? So this is massive stuff. This is a huge initiating energy, not just for you, but for the entire planet. This is where the light workers really get activated, where the light workers begin to have the courage to step onto their path and to own their energy and to own their light and shine that motherfucking light in the world. I'm not pulling any punches with this reading today. Like I said, you guys, I'm in that energy. I'm going with it. My ears are ringing like crazy. Spirit is here. Spirit saying, let's ride. Let's do this thing. Let's talk about these energies. I know all my Aries appreciate the bluntness and the straightforwardness and all of this. So love you, appreciate you so much. Continuing on here. Looking through the astrology. So we have that passing of the torch, that passing of the energy as Neptune moves into Aries and the North Node moves out of Aries and into Pisces. And because of this energy and the importance of the relevance of the North Node having just been in your sign and Neptune, which is moving into your sign, I will also give you the date of February 7th, which is when the Neptune and the North Node have a conjunction in the sign of Pisces at 28 degrees of Pisces. That's still going to be significant for all of my Aries, I feel, because that you guys are really connected in with those planets and those energies right now, having just been through that North Node transit and having Neptune getting ready to move into your energy. All right. Then we have Venus retrograde. Oh yeah, you guys, not only do you have a Mercury retrograde in your sign this year, you have a Venus retrograde in your sign. That starts on the 1st of March. At 10 degrees of Aries, Venus is going to station retrograde. And then on the 3-3 portal, the 3rd, we have Mercury entering your sign of Aries. Mercury stations retrograde on the 15th at 9 degrees of Aries. So any of you who have points, by points I mean angles of houses, I mean planets, around this 9-10 degrees, I would say really from like 7 to 12-ish degrees. There's no hard and fast rules here. Anywhere around that point of Aries, or really even anybody who's watching this who just was drawn to this reading or relates with Aries energy has a lot of other Aries placements. If you as an Aries also have placements and any of these other cardinal signs, that would be like Libra, Capricorn, Cancer. This is going to be, they're really going to be impacted by these retrogrades that we're talking about here. So Venus going retrograde on the 1st of March. March is going to be insane for everybody, but really for you guys. 14th, we have a total lunar eclipse in Virgo, okay? And then on the 15th, we have Mercury stationing retrograde in your sign. And then we have a partial solar eclipse, new moon solar eclipse at 9 degrees of Aries. That 9-degree point again here of Aries, as we said. So in your sign, that's going to be huge for you guys. And then the day after, Neptune moves into Aries. So essentially within this new moon portal here, this new moon total solar eclipse portal, that is I'm seeing the energy of this new moon in my mind right now. It's insane. I'm just seeing this huge flash. It looks like almost like what you would imagine the great solar flash to look like. This energy is going to be fucking nuts. So that's going to shoot everybody into a brand new dimension. It's going to like seriously shift your entire identity. It's you guys, you are not coming out of this year the same way that you went in. That's all I got to say for my Aries here. All right. So let's continue with this. Mercury stations direct on the 7th at 26 degrees of Pisces. And then Venus stations direct on the 12th of April at 24 degrees of Pisces. And then we have here Saturn conjunct the North Node at 26 degrees of Pisces on the 21st. And this still feels relevant for you guys. Just because Saturn is so relevant, as Saturn is getting ready to move into your sign. So you want to pay attention to these Pisces transits as well. So that still, I feel, is going to have a powerful impact. Then we have Venus re-entering Aries on the 30th of April, right after the new moon in Taurus on the 27th. And let's see. I'm trying to see if I wrote back down here when Mercury re-enters Aries, because Mercury went back into Pisces too during his retrograde. I'm not sure. I might not have written that down, but Mercury stations direct on the 7th at 26 degrees of Pisces. So it's going to be about mid-month that Mercury also re-enters your sign. All right, mid-April. So March and April, seriously powerhouses of months. And then May too, because on May 24th, that's when Saturn enters your sign. All right. And we have Jupiter sextiling Chiron. Jupiter at 25 degrees of Gemini in a sextile with Chiron and a square to the North Node on the 18th of May. And Chiron is in your sign of Aries as well, so that's going to be big for you too. You guys have had Chiron in your sign for quite a while, and that is moving towards its completion. You've only got a few years left of that. I don't have the exact dates for you guys for that right now, but I mean, that's something to look forward to here as we got all this crazy stuff going on in your sign. It doesn't end, you guys. On June 15th, we have that third of the opening squares between Saturn and Jupiter that we've been talking about. The cycle of Saturn and Jupiter began in 2020, on December 2020. During that bifurcation gateway, the 12-12-12-21 gateway, when Saturn and Jupiter came together at 0 degrees of Aquarius and really began the earnest birthing of the new age of Aquarius. And then we're having these check-in points along that journey. It's a 20-year cycle. The first check-in point being this opening squares. And there's 3 of them because Saturn and Jupiter have been retrograde, right? So they come together, they pass each other, they come back together again. And so the final of these 3 squares is going to be with Saturn in your sign of Aries, Saturn at 1 degree of Aries and Jupiter at 1 degree of Cancer. So that's going to be really big, intense energy as well. Does it cool down for you guys? Neptune goes retrograde in your sign at 2 degrees of Aries on July 4th. So not so much. All right. Saturn goes retrograde at 1 degree of Aries in your sign on July 13th. So that's going to be intense as well. But Saturn and Neptune, like we said, will be re-entering Pisces during their retrogrades as well. We're going to have a powerful on 8/11, August 11th, as Mercury stations direct at 4 degrees of Leo, having gone into a retrograde in Leo during the summertime. We're going to have Saturn still at 1 degree of Aries, now in retrograde, sextiling Uranus in Gemini. So that's going to be a big energy in and of itself. This is going to be a real boost forward. This is going to be a real possibility of coming right on the heels of the 8/8 Lionsgate portal, right? So I'm feeling this is a very energizing energy that's really pointing us in a powerful new direction. So that's going to be a big energy, but I'm feeling that as a really big positive, even though it is involving Saturn, which can be challenging. And we're going to dig more into that and all of these, of course, as we get closer to these dates. I just want to give you guys like the nuts and bolts of like the big things to look out for here. The big dates. Yep, so Saturn re-enters Pisces and is retrograde on September 1st. So that's going to be helpful for you guys a little bit. Like I said, you're still going to be feeling it because it's so close to you. But that's going to take a little bit of the heat off from that. Unless you guys have major Pisces, people watching this in Pisces too, then you guys are really good. And if you also have Aquarius, you'll have like your year is going to be insane. But yeah, even if you don't have anything in Pisces or Aquarius, which are the other biggest players of the year, simply what's going on with your sign, I mean, you got, like I said, you won't come out the same way you went in. All right, the fires of transformation are upon you. Anything else here that we want to look at before we start getting into the words here? Neptune retrograde enters Pisces on October 22nd. And then on the 23rd, we have a square between Jupiter in Cancer and Chiron in your sign of Aries. So that's going to be an intense energy. That's going to be a challenging one, really calling faith into question, our faith in ourselves. But it's an opportunity for a really powerful breakthrough. I think that's it for super intensity for you guys. Let's see. Saturn stations direct at 25 degrees of Pisces on November 27th. And got another square of Jupiter and Chiron here at 22 degrees of Cancer and Aries. And that is on 1221, the 1221 gateway, the bifurcation point. So that's going to be, it's like another check-in of this energy from the 23rd, when Jupiter and Chiron come back into the square again. So it's a powerful journey here, a powerful healing journey. And I want to look at what else I wrote about that. Let's see. Yeah, Uranus is entering Gemini this year too, so Gemini is going to have some intensity as well. Yeah, it's just we're having these multiple squares here. So we have that second, we have two of those Jupiter Chiron squares here in 2025, and that second one is really going to be even more intense than the first, being that it's on 12/21, right? But it's allowing for that. It's like the next level of that breakthrough, this breakthrough, this healing breakthrough, this breakthrough that really calls our faith into question, like we said, but then helps us to rise up to meet the challenge. That it's like stripping all of our, like, it's what Spirit's showing me right now is a child riding a bike without the training wheels for the first time. It's like the training wheels getting removed. And that moment when you realize, it's sort of like when your parents kind of holding you on the bike and then they take their hands off and you think they're still holding you and you're cruising, and then all of a sudden you realize that they're not holding on to you anymore. That feeling, that's what I'm getting here for that conjunction. That's what they're showing me right now, which is really interesting. So that's going to be, like I said, we'll get more into the details of all those dates as we get closer to them. That was just the overview. So you might want to rewatch that. Get out a pen and paper. Pen, pencil, and paper. That my energy is like, I was a little bit hyped before, but since I've started reading for you guys, it's gone nuts. So yeah, there's going to be, make sure you guys are taking really good care of your bodies, really good care of your nervous systems as you're moving through 2025, because it's a lot. It's going to be a lot. But really, really beautiful, honestly. So we're going to tap in for a second. We're going to ask Spirit to give us some words. Some words. I just heard juvenile. I'm actually thinking of the artist Juvenile. For all my peeps who are around my age, right? I'm in my late 30s, 40s. You'll remember Juvenile. Yeah, it's so funny. I don't know why that's coming through. It's like I'm getting that, what is it? At the very beginning of Back That Ass Up, you know, when the music starts, which is really, I mean, honestly, that would be a great intro, right? Just that if you listen to the beginning of that, it's like the tempo is starting to pick up, you know, something's coming through, right? So I guess maybe that's what that's about. That could have some reference for someone as well, just that juvenile energy for some reason. Let's see what else we're getting. That bike with the training wheels, that training wheels coming off, that just, Spirit keeps bringing that visual back for me. What else? Hope, prayer, sunspot, which is really interesting. Sundial, a lot of energy with the sun. Astrology. Oh, now I'm being shown like a labyrinth or a corn maze. Interesting. The word maze particularly. Moon. Like moon rituals. Healing. I'm seeing an ice bath. You know how people do like the cold plunges? And just that energy of ice, but I'm seeing the ice like cracking and breaking, like melting. Like glaciers melting almost. Birds, but I'm seeing like, it's like the birds that fly over the sea, like a heron or a tern. I don't think a tern is a bird, but not cranes, but it's the heron or blue heron maybe. Some of those water birds, those ocean birds, the big ones, not seagulls though. Oh, I'm seeing like a genie lamp. And I saw harem as well. And dancing, I'm seeing like belly dancers, so dancing, moving the body. Figure 8, I'm seeing an hourglass now, and also just the number 8. And we talked about how there was a significant date around the 8-8. I think it was on the 8-11 that we had something going on in your sign too. Now I'm seeing scarves and like those jingly skirts with all the bells on them. And when you dance, they jingle. And hula. Some of you guys might be doing some, like, there's like a festival energy that I'm picking up on here right now with like the hula hoops and all the tricks, right? The fire dancers and everything. A lot of celebration. And I just saw a puppy. A dog or a puppy. Maybe a German Shepherd for someone. Maybe somebody's getting a dog, or it's that energy of loyalty. All right. And now I'm seeing like the Tao Te Ching and some of that, if any of you guys are familiar with that book, or if you're familiar with that, like the Tao and like Chinese or Japanese or Asian philosophy or religion, some of you guys might be getting into that. I'm also seeing like not jujitsu, but what one of the Japanese sort of fighting. You guys know what I'm trying to say here. You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know, if it's for you. So somebody might be taking up some type of martial arts or something like that. I feel like mixed martial arts. Clear. I feel like what Spirit's saying is you guys need to make sure you get your bodies moving. Get that energy out. Aries, you are ruled by Mars. You have a lot of that fire in you. You need a passion. You need a purpose. You need somewhere to channel that energy towards something like that drives you, that is positive. And you also just need physical outlets for your energy. Clear. All right. Let's see major themes and energies that that Aries is going to be working with in 2025 here. Major themes and energies for Aries. And I'm using, for those who are curious, what is this called? The Tarot of Sacred Kingdoms. All right. These cards fell out funny, but they came out. So we got the Ten of Swords here. And we have the Lovers. And I definitely heard that energy, or I actually heard there's a song, It's Always Darkest Before the Dawn. The song that I'm thinking of, I think it's by Florence the Machine and the Machine. Something in that song, in the song that I'm thinking of, it said, It's Always Darkest Before the Dawn. Somebody let me know, Florence and the Machine, what song I'm thinking of, because that song's coming through right now. Somebody wants to look that up, the lyrics to that song, maybe. Honestly, if I weren't recording on my phone, I would look it up right now. Actually, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up on my computer real quick, the lyrics to that. But this is a painful cycle in love for some of you that's coming to completion here. If you've been struggling with love, if you've been struggling with relationships, this is also self-love. This is also just for some of you, it's like, if you've been struggling with making positive decisions for yourself, or you feel like all the choices that you've been making have all kind of like led you astray or led you down roads that you weren't necessarily sure you wanted to go. It's like you're learning how to make better decisions, for lack of a better way to put it. Or how to trust your own intuition when you're making decisions. Okay, is it Dark Days? Is that what it's called? Yep. Okay, I'm going to read you guys the lyrics. I just feel like it's important for somebody here. So it says, regrets collect like old friends, here to relive your darkest moments. I can see no way, and all of the ghouls come out to play. And every demon wants his pound of flesh, but I like to keep some things to myself. I like to keep my issues drawn. It's always darkest before the dawn. And I've been a fool and I've been blind. I can never leave the past behind. I can see no way, I'm always dragging that horse around. All of his questions, such a mournful sound. Tonight I'm going to bury that horse in the ground. because I like to keep my issues drawn, but it's always darkest before the dawn. And then that's the one where it keeps singing. She keeps singing, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. It's hard to dance with the devil on your back, so shake him off, shake him off. And I am done with my graceless heart, so tonight I'm going to cut it out and then restart, because I like to keep my issues drawn. It's always darkest before the dawn. And it's hard to dance with the devil on your back, so shake it off. But given half the chance, would I take any of it back? Shake it off. It's a fine romance, but it's left me so undone. Shake it off. It's always darkest before the dawn. And if I'm damned, and I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. So here's to drinks in the dark at the end of my road. And I'm ready to suffer, and I'm ready to hope. It's a shot in the dark aimed right at my throat. 'Cause looking for heaven found the devil in me. Looking for heaven found the devil in me. But what the hell, I'm going to let it happen to me, yeah. So, yeah, that's going to be whatever you took out of that for whoever that's for. Keep listening to that song. Feel into it. But there's this powerful energy here of whatever the devil on your back has been with this Ten of Swords energy. Whatever this painful cycle has been that you're finally breaking out of because you're making the choice. The Lovers can represent a choice. And yes, for some people, it is a choice in love. It is a choice to end a painful cycle in love. But it doesn't necessarily have to be specifically around love. It's just a cycle of where it is that you've broken your own heart over and over again by making choices that hurt you. Whether it was because you placed other people above you, whether it was because you didn't believe in yourself enough, for whatever reason, just that self-sabotage, that self-destruct button that so many of us have. It's like really getting an opportunity to come out of that energy. Five of Swords, yeah. But look, there's an energy of peace in this particular Five of Swords. There's nobody else in this card, right? Five of Swords is typically a battle. And I do tend to look at it as somebody achieving victory or surrender. Sometimes surrender is the victory, right? In this card, though, it's like realizing that the only person that you were ever really fighting was yourself. Coming into that realization. But there's a peace in that. Because if the only person I'm fighting is me, I can choose to stop fighting myself and the battle's over, right? Even if you were, this battle was being acted out with people in your physical world, it was really a battle against yourself, right? The other people were just stand-ins. For some of you guys, this is definitely putting to bed a situation with a lover as well that just hasn't been working out. That's just been pain after pain after pain. Some of you guys, this may even be like a twin flame. But the times come where you have to let them go. And the Lovers is Gemini energy. And like we said, Uranus is entering Gemini this year too. So there's going to be a lot of surprises coming in. Doesn't mean they have to be a Gemini though. It's just this Gemini energy with the Lovers here. But it's this energy of, and this is one of the most important things on my own journey. And my twin flame type journey has been really strange, and I'm still not sure I really 100% understand it. So I don't speak on it a lot. But what I will say that I learned in relationships in general, right? These really intense magnetic attractions that I had with people, those passionate attractions that literally felt like they tore me to pieces. Every single time at the end of the day, I came down to a choice. I had to choose me or I had to choose them. And choosing me meant leaving them. That's the point that I think some of you are at in that journey. Because there's no harder choice, right? When we love somebody more than we thought we loved ourselves. More than we've loved anything. But they are so bad. We are so bad for each other, I'll say, right? or it's just not working out. It's just too much pain. It's just too much suffering. And you know that's what it's going to be because of where you're both at vibrationally, right? We don't put blame on anybody else. In the situations of my own life that I'm sort of speaking to here, I was in no place vibrationally either. You know, I might have been at a maybe a greater level of awareness in some regards than the other people that I was dealing with in some regards. I thought I was a whole lot higher, more elevated than I was. Looking back, there was still so much that I didn't know, so much that I needed to learn, right? So much immaturity within me. But there was enough to recognize and understand when it was time to throw in the towel, when it was time to choose me. And it was a hard choice, but there is no more powerful act of self-love than loving yourself more, loving yourself enough to let somebody else that you love go, right? So we got the 4 Cups and the 5 of Wands here. Interesting. This feels like some type of journey or pilgrimage deeper into yourself. Yeah, this is interesting because this deck is a bit different than your traditional tarot deck here. So I really want to feel into these for you. I feel like this year, Aries, you're going to be called to go to some interesting places. These could be literal places. They could also be places within yourself. To really pull back your energy, it's like you're on a quest. Yeah, it just has that energy of a quest here. We got a lot of 5s here. We got a 4 and 2 5s. We also have a 10, right? And a 6 with the Lovers. But this 4-5-4 energy. Something about that. Or 5-4-5. 5-45. Yeah. There's going to be some sort of significance with those numbers for somebody here. Yeah, you're on some type of, it's like a pilgrimage almost is what it feels like. It's like this year you're going to notice where it is that there are just aspects of your life that simply are not resonating, where you're feeling unfulfilled, and that lack of fulfillment is going to feel a lot more intense. It's like things in the outside may not even have changed right away, but that energy is going to feel more intense for you. It's like where you were ignoring things that just didn't fit right, and you were kind of just putting things off. You're not going to be able to do that anymore. And this is going to like shake you out of your comfort zone. It's like the things that were unacceptable, that you would convince yourself were acceptable, are no longer going to be acceptable anymore. And so you're going to have to switch it up. You're going to have to try a new game plan. And this is where this pilgrimage comes in. Like we said, could be literal or could be figurative. And I feel like you're really connecting with wise elders. It feels like a book. It almost like reminds me of, what's that book? It's got a green cover. I can't think of what the book is called right now. I wish I knew, but it's a journey. It's a pilgrimage. It's similar to the Alchemist, but it's a different book. But there's this whole spiritual journey that this character goes on. And I feel like that's what it is for you. Like you're going to meet these wise sages and they're going to give you advice or guidance along your path. You're going to just be routed by synchronicity to the right circumstances, the right people, the right events. And your own higher self is going to be guiding you through this journey as well. And ultimately, it's leading you to, I just felt like the energy of like the Holy Grail, whatever that is for you. There's some state of enlightenment, a deeper state of enlightenment, we'll call it, that you're meant to reach this year, Aries. And all of the circumstances are aligning in order to make that so. We've got the Three of Cups here on the bottom of the deck too. Look at that beautiful celebration, that beautiful energy. Spend as much time out in nature this year as you can, Aries. Tell me more about the Three of Cups. The energy of three may be significant too. 3 significant people, 3 significant places, 3 significant chapters in this story. We talked about the 3-3 and how that was going to be a powerful date for you, right? We got the 8 of Wands here. Movement. And the Ace of Swords. Yeah, you're going to be guided on this powerful journey. It's some type of initiation. It's like some type of quest. That's really all I can say. This is such an interesting reading. And you're going to receive the clarity that you need as you go. It's reminding me too of like a video game where it's like, you know, when you have like those, like my partner likes to play a lot of those wizardy type of video games and stuff like that, right? So they'll be like, each level will be some type of mystical land, and there'll be certain people that you have to meet and talk to that give you information, right? They're not really in the video. They're just like characters that come forward to bring you a new challenge or a new quest along the journey, like the next, whatever the level's about or whatever you're doing there. It's like, I'm feeling that kind of unfoldment of energy. It's so interesting. And when you will have the clarity to act. Spirit's saying, like, don't act until you have the clarity. And when you have the clarity, act. On the bottom of the deck, 7 of Cups. All right, let's see what else. Clear. I'm actually being drawn to use the fortune telling deck for you guys to pull a couple more cards for major themes and energies before we move on to blessings here. Clear. I feel like for some of you that have really felt directionless, there's going to be this greater understanding of like where you're being guided. If you've been missing that. All right. Give me some clear. Give me some energy for Aries here. Tell me some more about Aries 2025. Okay, we'll do first half of 2025. They want to split it up. Aries, first half of 2025. Let's get some energy here. I'm feeling like the first half, there's going to be some hard choices and decisions that have to be made. And then the quest really, excuse me. Yeah, some hard truths that might need to be spoken. And the quest really starts kicking off. Feels like maybe around May, maybe around that time that Saturn moves into your sign, Aries. All right, first half, we have community and we have bad health. Interesting. So there may be people in your community who are not doing well health-wise. Some of you may have issues with your health, but I'm feeling this more where the community is relating, but it has to do with like people that you're connected to. So this could be in the literal community that you live. It could be like in a wider community. You could be assisting people who are not physically well, perhaps. If some of you are dealing with health issues in the first half of 2025, I feel like you're going to have community rallying around you to support you. But this definitely feels like, and we know, or some of us know, As I'm filming this, the cabal is doing everything that they can do to regain power, to regain the timeline. They are trying to release another pandemic, all of that. Whether they're going to be successful in that, I don't give too much energy to it because we are aligned on that highest timeline, which is not going to allow for that. So we're going to just, like, in my mind, we're just bypassing that completely. All of the other agendas that they're trying to put forth, right? But there is some sort of energy with this that I'm picking up for you guys. So tell me, give me another card on this. What does this have to do with? Distant horizons, travel. All right, so I am feeling that there is like a warning coming through here for somebody. If you are traveling overseas, make sure that you are just aware of where you're going, and because you don't want to pick up anything while you're there. Just be aware of the practices to keep yourself safe when if you're encountering like different germs and viruses and bacteria that you're not used to where you live. If you're going far away, it's like I'm feeling that energy that is coming through for somebody, just to be aware of that. All right, let's see if there's anything else Spirit wants us to know about this or understand about this energy here. This could also feel for some of you, I feel like if this has to do with your mental health, it's like building more of a community of support for yourself, a support system. And perhaps for some of you guys, this is like you're building a support system online as well with the distant horizons, and you may be going to visit somebody. Or some of you may have like a family member or somebody within a community that you're a part of who does get ill, and you go to visit them. Tell me, clear, any more about this energy? What else do we need to know or understand here? Interesting. We have the ring coming out. There's some sort of energy of duty here. And so I don't typically like to do readings like this. Is why I don't use this deck very often, because it's a like pretty intense deck, the fortune telling deck here. All right, but for some of you, and take this with a grain of salt as it resonates, there may be something to do with a spouse taking ill. Or it could be that your spouse has a family member who's ill and you have to take them into your home, or you have to travel to take care of them. That could be this energy as well here. And there's something powerful with that energy. It feels like a karmic situation. A lot with the throat here. Communication. Spirit's saying working on your communication this year is going to be a major theme as well. Being sure that whatever it is that you're agreeing to is something that you can handle as well, is something that Spirit's saying here. We have the man coming out with the waterfall. Yeah. So this is a lot of emotion related to a masculine energy. This is the masculine perhaps getting balanced out with some feminine energy here. But a masculine who's going through a lot of emotion, I feel. So this could either be you, or it could be somebody that you're connected with who's really going through it. And it might have to do with family issues, health issues. Like I said, for somebody, it's like caring for a sick family member. And it's just the duties of life. Who it is that we are committed to. Who it is that, and what that commitment is. And it's kind of like that energy of like in sickness and in health. Like if we're talking about marriage. And it's sort of like those bonds that we create with people. And it's like honoring the terms of the contract. So this is coming back to soul contracts again. There's going to be, like, for some of my Aries, there's going to be some really intense soul contracts called in here that are going to have to do with a lot of these more earthly, physical matters. All right. Then we have the eagle. This is opportunities, hope, clear vision. Past, present, future. So this has to do with timelines. There's something about timelines here. And then we have the fish. We have resources, income, investments. So I do feel like there's some money coming in for some of you. Or working with money. Working with creating more prosperity, creating more flow and income. Perhaps starting a business for some of you. That could be a theme moving forward here as well. Somebody too, it could be like the karma of taking over a family business or inheriting a family business and then deciding what you're going to do with it. Got the Gemini energy on the bottom of the deck. There's something with this Gemini energy, you guys. And look, we had the storks. Remember I said the birds flying over water? I didn't list the stork. I was trying to figure out, I was thinking about the stork though, and whether that would qualify or not. I don't know if they fly long distances. So that they represent not just babies, right? They represent change and transformation as well. And the lover, of course, the lovers is represented by Gemini energy. So, of course, that's coming through again. Yeah, I feel like some of my Aries too, you could be getting married this year, and you could be marrying somebody with status, either that or you're the one with status. Somebody's getting an upgrade in their status due to a commitment, a connection. So some people, it's like energies, situations are ending, right? We have the third person here. So definitely some situations are ending. The ones that aren't meant to be are ending. New connections are forming. It's like everything is taking the next level of what it's meant to be, whether it's meant to shift and transform, die so that something new can be reborn, or whether it's meant to like if they're meant to stay, they're going to stay, and the commitment's going to get more serious. If they're meant to go, they're going to go. And there are these soul contracts, like I said, being called in. And so how you navigate that is going to have to do with your particular soul contract and what it is that you're meant to learn. And if you guys want assistance with working through this, definitely reach out to me. But you're going to learn a lot through the fulfillment and then either the completion of these soul contracts this year, especially having to do with family and community. All right, then we have the moon, the subconscious, the divine feminine energy coming through there. All right. And then we have the stallion. There's a lot of this. This card has to do with sensuality and sexuality too. So there's some passionate energy, some passionate themes for my Aries this year as well. Just a lot of this passion, I think. What we did have the marriage card on the bottom of the deck there. So definitely some people, like I said, getting married, marriages, divorces, lots of intense change. Clear all around for all of my Aries. All right, let's see. So then we're going to do, the moon coming through again, another moon card, you guys. So a lot of this energy with working with your subconscious, working with your dreams. Some of you are going to get into dream work, dream journaling, really connecting with your intuition, your spiritual gifts, your higher self. Some of you, it's like claircognizance or clairvoyance, seeing into the future, glimpsing future timelines. Remember we talked about with the eagle, the timelines, being able to see from multiple perspectives and angles. Getting more in tune with working through those belief systems and everything, reprogramming, retraining the subconscious mind. I feel like this is going to be coming up for quite a lot of you as you're moving through these energies, these karmic cycles and clearing out these energies here. Every time we have Saturn transiting a zodiac sign, that means that Saturn is spending the next few years working with your energy. Particularly, it's a brand new energy of maturing and growing up. So for a lot of you, clear, this has to do with family, this has to do with responsibility, this has to do with partnership. All right, let's get a few cards for the second half of 2025 clear, and then we're going to move on to blessings. Wow, we've already been doing this reading for 50 minutes, you guys. This is crazy. So we got the gift coming through. So I think this is bringing the blessings as well. So blessings coming in the second half. The first half may be very challenging, very daunting, but there's some sort of gift or blessing coming in for you in the second half here. It's a 17 card. And then we have expectations, 28. Spirit's saying this gift, whatever it is that you are going to be receiving here, this blessing, is going to be different from what you expect. So try not to have too many expectations about anything this year. Try to come in as an open slate, a fresh slate with an open mind. All right? Yeah, this is honor. This is recognition here. Yeah. This is going to be totally, so this is wrapping in blessings and what you don't see coming. There's some sort of beautiful gift, offer, invitation coming here that you don't expect. It's like you're waiting for one thing and then you get something else and you're disappointed because one thing's not coming through, but Spirit's got something even better lined up for you. And it's something that has to do with honor and recognition as well here. And we do have despair, and we had thief on the bottom of the deck too. So I feel like the gift here has to do with, for some of you, it is something that you've been waiting for, for a long time that's just taken a while to come back around. For some of you, it has to do with respect, recognition for something, appreciation. But I feel like all the time that it's taken, it's like Spirit showing me almost like gaining interest in a bank. Because this hasn't come through for you yet, it's been gaining interest, and it's going to be more powerful when you do receive whatever this is. For some of you guys, this is just something that you totally, it's like I said, you thought you were getting one thing and you're getting something way better. But there is this despair, concern. So there's some conflicting energy too. And this would be, I love how Spirit's wrapping this all together here, what you don't see coming. Yeah, there's somebody trying to pull one over on you here. We got the false person here. All right, so be aware of that. And for those of you who are going through some sort of initiation when it comes to love, when it comes to connections, this is kind of like a test of that. Like, what have you learned? Have you learned your discernment yet? Somebody's going to come to test that discernment. Especially for some of you, if this gift includes money or some type of reputation boost, there may be somebody trying to come in and piggyback off of that energy. Somebody who pretends to be concerned for you, but they're really trying to like get in with you, if that makes any sense. When you're feeling really low, so pay attention of anyone who kind of swoops in. When you're feeling low, or when you're disappointed, when you're kind of down, because you're going to be going through cycles of this. This is going to be, like we said, this is an intense year of initiation for you. Pay attention to who just kind of like sneaks in, and really make sure you're reading their energy properly. Because there's going to be somebody who's acting like they're doing something for your highest good, or they're here to help you, or they're worried about you, or they care about you. But really, they're trying to get information, or they're trying to get something from you. We have wealthy man. So for some of you, if you're coming into some money, they might be after your money. Remember I said some of you might be meeting somebody who marrying somebody with money. If you do, this person might be coming in trying to like throw a kink in the works there. Or this wealth could have to do with the spiritual wealth. It could have to do with some type of level up in your energy that somebody's sensing, and they're trying to capitalize on it for their own gain, essentially. So just be aware of that. Then we have the distance horizons. Yeah, there's definitely an energy here of somebody in poor health. I see somebody in the second half, somebody who was in poor health, they may pass away. But this is also, that's just going to be for somebody. And I'm sorry, I hate giving messages like that, but that's just what's coming through for somebody. But this is also the end of a lot of struggle. Tell me about the message of concern. What does the message of concern relate to? Oh, somebody, you're getting an inheritance. Like if somebody in your family passes, you may be getting an inheritance, and then you want to watch and be aware of who kind of comes in around that time. But there's a journey that you're going to take. And I feel like there might be somebody, and remember I said you guys are going on a pilgrimage this year? We have unexpected income on the bottom of the deck. There might be a journey that you feel called to take, like spiritually called to take, and somebody might be trying to talk you out of it. But the reason they're trying to talk you out of it is for their own selfish aims. Yeah. So don't let them talk you out of it. There is a journey that you're meant to take here that's somehow going to put an end to a lot of toil and struggle. And I think this is also a message for those of you where somebody is passing this year. Just know, they want you to know that it is an end to their struggle. And I feel like for somebody who does have somebody pass away, they left you some sort of note or message. This could just be their will, but I feel like they left you a letter or they left a letter or something like that. So look out for that, because I feel like there's going to be something important contained within that. It might be a male. This might be a male figure here. Somebody who worked who lived a really hard life. But I feel like they lived a really hard life so that you wouldn't have to. That was ultimately, so this could be like a parent, grandparent. They ultimately wanted to be able to provide for you, even if they weren't able to do that at the time. I want to get a few more cards for this. Clear. This message of concern, this travel, distant horizons. All right, we have the cross coming out, destiny, trials, emotional loss, that energy of duty again. But we've also got the dog. So there's a helpful friend coming in for somebody, or companion. Yeah. These are trials and like we said, you're being initiated this year, Aries. You may go through some hard times. You may go through some struggles. This might even relate to you with this energy of the toil and the labor, putting in this energy here. But it feels like a lot of it's like that, like we said, initiations through family, through friends, through that energy of duty, like we said. Where does your duty, where does your loyalty lie? It's that energy of loyalty. It's a test of loyalty. But this isn't just loyalty to people like your family, your friends. This is loyalty to yourself above all else. Are you able to be loyal to yourself, loyal to your spirit, loyal to your spiritual path? Yeah, deep commitment here. The loons. This is going all in for what you love. And then the book. If you're willing to demonstrate your commitment to your spiritual growth, to your spiritual path this year, there is much knowledge and many secrets that will be unveiled to you. All right, and I'm going to have to continue. I'm going to close out this reading, but I do actually have to go right now, so I'm going to continue this. I'll probably look different the next time I continue this. I love you guys so much. I'll be back to finish this up probably tomorrow. Hello, Aries, and welcome back to your reading. Although I suppose you didn't actually go anywhere. I did. I'm back. And I have rewatched the end of your reading before jumping back in here so I could get back into the flow of it. I still have all the cards out on the table here. So we are going to jump back in. I did have a few more things come through as I was listening to your reading again. So I'm going to share those with you. And then we're going to keep going here and tie this all together. one of the things that did come through when it came to the health energies was that some of you may be going on a pilgrimage this year because you are experiencing health issues or health concerns. And there's like a deeper level of your own spirituality, your own connection to source, God, creator, whatever you want to call that energy, and your own powers of self-generation and self-healing that you're going to be unlocking as you sort of, and many of you I feel are actually going to be traveling, perhaps overseas even, to seek out some of these different therapies, to seek out some of these different practices that you can be employing. Like, I get this stronger sensation, less about you going to healers in order to have them heal you, right? And more about you learning how to become your own healer. So for some of you, even though it's going to be very challenging, that is going to be a powerful activation and initiation in and of itself as you step into that, your abilities. And this is reminding you, because many of you are here because you are healers, right? And you felt that you had something to offer the world, but you didn't know what it was. And this is like that final piece. As you learn to heal yourself, you learn what you need to learn, what you are meant to be sharing with others. So this is just monumental. And for those of you where this isn't a physical health thing, it could be a mental health thing, an emotional health thing. There's some sort of journey that you're going on to heal your broken places. And I say broken places, none of us are ever truly broken, right? That's an illusion. But to heal that illusion of brokenness and come back into wholeness in a way that you can recognize and understand, and to really, I feel you having this ability and this potential to truly radiate by the time you close out 2025. All right, so that was one additional message that came in. We also had, and I thought that this was really interesting, we had this energy at the very end, right, with the cross and the book. And what I found fascinating about this was, as I was putting away the deck that we used at the beginning of your reading, the guidebook was sitting on the table. And I read the back of the guidebook here. And it says, in the pages of this book, you shall find the compass to your calling and the whispered answers that the universe intended for your soul to discover. So I thought that was really fascinating, that was right on the bottom here of the deck that we first used. And the last two cards that we pulled before this ended were rather, the cross and the book. I was also feeling for some of you that you might be diving more into religion as well. And I'm feeling specifically Christianity. And it's interesting because you have the tower here, which does represent institutions, right? Which you would say Christianity essentially is. Christianity is a weird religion in the sense that, like, they took these teachings of this beautiful ascended master, and then they put all this other stuff in there, and they essentially, kind of like the Romans, sort of transferred and coalesced their power. They moved it into the church and kind of used the church to continue taking over the world, right? So it's very weird. There's a lot of darkness associated with the Romans and all of this energy, you know what I mean? However, there's a reason I'm talking about the Romans. Some of you, there's like a past life energy there connected to Rome or something like that. And maybe something about the, like, digging into this religion, this Christian theology or religion, is going to help you remember that. That's really interesting. And for some of you, this is about healing wounds created by religion. Some of these wounds have to do with persecution. Some of them have to do with vows that you took as a member of the church. Like you were a priest, or you were a nun, or you were some type of devout person within a religion. And for a lot of people, it really does feel like Christianity. It doesn't have to be. It could be different for some people finding this, but I feel like for a lot of you, it's going to be a Christianity. And some of those vows, whether those are vows of poverty, vows of chastity, vows of misery, right? There's a lot, like we said, there's a lot of warped teachings within the Bible, right? That teach us that we're meant to suffer, right? That this life is about suffering, just as Christ suffered. Not realizing that Christ didn't really, Yeshua, I mean, he is such a beautiful soul. He was always such a beautiful soul. And his life was beautiful. Yes, he was crucified, right? For bringing this beautiful consciousness to this planet, for introducing people to their own power, for quite literally exorcising demons. Like Christ was an exorcist. He did entity removal. He practiced Reiki and energy healing. Like he was the consummate light worker, right? He was like, not that there weren't like workers before him, but he was, I mean, he embodied all of that energy, everything that we are, right? That true healer's blueprint. The fullness of that blueprint resided within him. Okay? So, and I was shown that when we work with the healer's wound, a lot of times that wound comes back to the crucifixion, because that's like a major point in the trajectory of this planet, a major pain point that every light worker feels, because we're all connected to his energy. And the energy that he embodied, that Christ consciousness energy, that healing energy. So some of you, it's going to be delving into, maybe it's wounds around that. Many of us were present at Christ's crucifixion. Many of us knew Yeshua personally and love him deeply, even if we don't remember. And I feel like there's somebody watching this that as I'm speaking is starting to remember the beauty of walking by his side and the love that emanated from him, from this beautiful divine masculine angel, right? I know for me personally, I had to do some healing around that. Some of my belief systems, as I was working through them, they came back to that moment. But Christ, Yeshua, I keep calling him Christ because we're talking about, Christianity here. He wants everyone to know that he did not suffer. Suffering is a choice, right? Yes, he went through painful situations. And he had the ability to hold that love light within him, even in those darkest of moments, to love even those who oppressed him. He did not suffer because suffering is a choice, as it is a choice for each and every single one of us. It is not something that is decreed. It is not something that is wished upon us. It is not something that's required for salvation, right? So for some of you, this is like deprogramming. I feel like somebody who's listening to this has had difficulty connecting with Yeshua because of the Christian programming and all of the atrocities within the Christian church. And some of this goes back to Rome as well, or being a victim of the Romans, who were the archons, right? They were very, very heavily enmeshed in all of that dark archonic energy, right? But so it's like healing that wound that you have because of your own, in this life and other lives, experiences with the Christian religion, so that you can connect with Yeshua, who is not the Christian religion, right? That was a religion that was built around his teachings, many of which were perverted, right? Inverted, in order to achieve a certain control narrative. Some of you may be digging into some of the more lost or lesser known gospels. I like the book of Enoch and some of these different things. And for some of you, this has to do with other scriptures. Like you might be reading about the different vibrational laws of the universe. You might be reading like the Emerald Tablets, or any of these lost manuscripts or channeled writings. Just really delving into that, delving into the philosophy, sinking your teeth into the knowledge. This thirst for knowledge really activating within you in a way that it hasn't before. And that's because it's guiding you to a certain place. So pay attention to what you're called to read, what comes across your path, especially Spirit saying, if you notice, and 3 is usually the key, 3 times. Somebody keeps repeating something, like somebody says the Dead Sea Scrolls. And then a couple days later, you hear about it again. And then a couple days later, you see like a scroll in a window or something. All right. Pay attention to that stuff. All right. Spirit is going to be, your higher self is going to be channeling to you what you need to understand. And for some of you guys, it is actually going over the Bible. There's a lot of hidden knowledge, hidden in plain sight, as they say. It's the way it is interpreted. When you have a spiritual background, when you understand the ascension and everything that's happening on the planet right now, you can read the Bible and get a completely different viewpoint of it. All right, so it could even be something like that, but really digging, studying, right? A Course in Miracles, maybe. I feel like some people might be taking whatever this is, all right? There's a lot of hidden knowledge, and this whole year for you is about unearthing the hidden knowledge. For some of you, this knowledge has been hidden under sorrow. It's been hidden under trauma. It's been hidden under fear. Right? The goal of Aries energy is to develop courage. That doesn't mean that every Aries is born into this life with courage. Many recklessness, yes, impulsivity to a certain extent, but courage is what you are here to cultivate. And you will seek out the challenges, or life will throw them at you in order to build up that strength, that stamina, that courage. This is a year that you really step into that. You really own that aspect of your being. Yeah, I just had to read this again. A whole new journey is getting ready to open up for you, Aries. A whole new chapter within your book. Some of you guys, I've been getting for a lot of my signs this energy of like writing a book. I think a lot of us are going to be published authors within the next few years here. Yeah. All right, anything else? I want to feel back to if there was anything else that I was feeling. Oh yeah, I was feeling too for some of you related to the health thing as well, that you might be starting a business. You might be going into a business that assists people who are not doing well health-wise. Somebody could be like volunteering for hospice even, or starting some type of hospice type program, or some program for people who only have a certain amount of time to live. Something like Make-A-Wish Foundation. Some of you may be volunteering with different foundations or starting your own foundation. And there are going to be a lot of sick people. Unfortunately, I do have to say, as we're moving through 2025, the cabal, this is their last throwdown. They're trying their best. They are the powers that were, but they are not happy with that title. They want to maintain, or they want to regain control. So they're going to be throwing everything they have at us when it comes to all of the chemicals, all the ways that they pollute the world. They try to pollute our bodies, our minds. They're pulling out all the stops. All right. And a lot of people, because of choices that they were sort of blackmailed or hoodwinked into surrounding their health, are going to be really starting to feel the physical consequences of that. So we are going to see a lot of sickness, particularly of those who are in a lower vibration. And the whole point of that journey is to raise them into a higher vibration, right? So the same thing that when I talked about at the beginning of the second part of the reading for you, those of you who are going to be experiencing poor health, your journey back to your own inner healer, back to calling that aspect of you in, connecting with your spirituality more deeply. That journey is the same journey that a lot of other people are going to begin really being pushed into in 2025 who are not awakened. And for those of you who that particular scenario is going to resonate with, you're going through that journey because so many other people are getting ready to go through that journey too. So you're meant to be able to help lead them through that journey as well. Clear, which is really powerful. All right, I want to see what else we have here. What deck do I want to pull to close? I'm going to do a final blessing, and then I'm going to do we already kind of got what you don't see coming. We've gotten a lot of answers already, so I'm just going to pull any final blessings here. Clear that Spirit wants to share with Aries for 2025. It's interesting. I just saw like horses pulling a carriage or something to do with horses, maybe race horses. And I saw a boxing match too, like a heavyweight boxing match or something. So a lot of that competitive energy, right? Compete with yourself this year, Aries, to become the best version of yourself that you can be. Yeah, we got improving health. So that's a beautiful blessing. For those of you, I think Spirit really wants to like emphasize, for those of you who I had forecasted the health challenges with this year, your health will improve. Your journey will bear fruit. Like I said, you're meant to go through that so that you can guide others in that as well. And this is also applies to any type of health, right? Not just the physical. It feels very physical for some, but this is also spiritual, mental, emotional health. We have abundance coming in. And look at that. We've got 2 DNA strands or double helixes here. So you guys, I'm such a hot mess still. Like, not quite as hot a mess as I was last night when I started this reading for you guys, but I'm still like, I got a missing nail. I'm all tore up here. It's, you know, being a mom of a small child, sometimes it's just keep putting yourself together. We do what we can, you know. It's like, I'm like trying not to point with my bum finger right now. Who really cares though, honestly, you know, go throw back to that energy from yesterday, right? But yeah, so abundance coming in for you. Lots of abundance, the DNA activations like we were talking about. Activating your abundance codes, your health codes. Some of you really want to work with healing codes. And I'm really hesitant to allow other people, like when people offer DNA codes and healing codes, I'm very hesitant to work with that these days just because I know there are so many people who don't even realize that they're infringed upon. And when they're doing this stuff, there's entities working through them, working on your DNA. Like, it's just best to not. But go set your shields, set your Merkaba, go in your own meditative center and visualize that. Call in those codes because you don't need another person to do that for you. You can do that. Your higher self can do that. You could also do it during like an aura session or something like that. That's when we're working with your higher self and the benevolent beings, the archangels, in order to work with that. But yeah, call in those codes. The health codes come naturally through the sun, right? And then we have no coming out here. Tell me more about no as a blessing. God's rejection is God's protection. That phrase is coming through here with the no card. Yeah. Then we have remain positive and recovery. And I feel like for somebody, and remember, I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Never take any advice in a tarot reading online, right? This is entertainment. Use your own discernment. But I feel like somebody is going to be denied a medical procedure or they're going to be denied something. And as a result of that, it's actually Spirit saying remain positive. You will recover. There's a reason. There's a reason for that. And what I'm being reminded of right now is to share the story of in Usui Reiki. There is a story of there's a woman who was trained. She was the first woman trained in Reiki, and she is responsible for bringing Reiki to most of the Western world. She was Hawaiian, part Japanese, part Hawaiian. And this woman, Takata was her name. She was very, very ill. And so she went to Japan to visit a family member who was also ill, I do believe. I think that's why she was over there. It's not the most important part of the story, but so she was in Japan and she became more ill. And so she went to the hospital. She was having these horrible stomach pains and she was essentially just really, really stressed. And her body was really reacting physically to this. And so she was on the table about to get surgery. And this voice in her head said, ask them if there's any, you do not need the surgery. And so she was like, she heard the voice 3 times, that 3 energy coming through. And so she said, stop. Is there anything else that I can do before I have this surgery? And one of the nurses that was attending the surgery actually was, I want to say she was the wife of the teacher at the Usui Reiki school, which was right across the street from the hospital. Or she was connected in with them. She knew them either way if she wasn't the wife, but I feel like she was the wife. Either way, she sent Takata to the Reiki place instead. And she received Reiki daily for many months. And she ended up recovering completely. She was completely healed. And so eventually she continues to come back and she continues to ask to be trained in Reiki. And even though no women had been trained yet, Japanese, very traditional, this is in the like 1800s, right? I should know this. I am a Reiki teacher. I can't remember if it was 18 or 1900s. I think it was not, whatever. It was a long time ago. All right. So women, this was a time when women were not trained in these things. So eventually she convinces, and this was the man that trained her was trained by Usui. It's kind of like his second in command, I guess you could call him. And so he trains her, and then she brings it back to the West. And she's responsible for the Reiki masters that were trained in the West and really bringing that energy from the East to the West. So a very powerful, she is the direct lineage for a lot of people who learn Reiki in the West. Really beautiful, beautiful, powerful woman. But that story, for some reason, I'm feeling guided to tell as I'm looking at this energy. And this isn't just with the health thing too. This is also like, if you get no, anything that you're doing, anything that you're pursuing right now, if you get a no, remain positive, continue moving forward. And this is so weird. I keep hearing keep going until you get a yes. But that doesn't mean force your way through a situation. That just means don't give up on your dreams. If one way doesn't work out, if one door doesn't open, try a different door. That's what it is. Keep going until you get a yes. It means try different doors. Don't keep banging on the same door that doesn't want to open. Go to a different door. Go to a different door and remain positive. Your positive thinking, your determination, your knowing, I am healed, I am whole, I am fulfilled, I am happy, I am abundant. Whatever it is, that is what's going to carry you through. Being in that vibration. As we move into, and then I got a year from now. So by 2026, there will be a powerful shift in this energy, but you're going to begin feeling it by the end of the year, I think. All right. So patience, persistence, positivity. Our vibration is going to be our greatest asset moving through 2025. Clear. If we are in a high vibration, then everything that gets thrown by the shadow government, by all of these entities and energies is not going to phase us success. All right. Yeah. And just keep remembering, God's rejection is God's protection. All right, I want to close for you guys with an Archangel Oracle card. I feel like some of you guys are really going to be working not only just with Yeshua, but with like the angels and the archangels this year. Your own guides, your own guidance. Remember we talked about the wise sages and like the different clear people that you were going to encounter along your path. I want to get clear. Let's get it. Oh, that came out quick. We have the guardian angel. Love yourself unconditionally and ask for help. So some of you guys, this is a literal, this isn't just like the not just, but sorry. This is not only the ascended masters and the archangels, but this is also your own personal guardian angels that want you to let you know, that they are with you. They want to bring healing to you. They want to also help you bring healing to your inner child, that wounded part of you that felt alone, that felt abandoned as a child. They're going to teach you. Some of you guys are going to be learning Reiki or learning different healing arts this year. And Spirit's saying work with that energy. Send that Reiki. Like if you're learning Reiki or something. And like I said, I do teach Reiki. If anybody is being called to learn from me, I can do it with people online. Send Reiki to your inner child, to yourself at different points in time in your life. You can send it back and forth throughout time. Remember, time's illusion. It doesn't really exist. All right, it's all timelines. It's all happening simultaneously. You don't even have to learn Reiki to do this. Just sit in meditation and send that love back to your child self. Spirit's saying that you had guardian angels with you even when it didn't feel like you did, even when you felt abandoned, when you felt alone. And there's like this sadness that you couldn't feel them. But of course you couldn't. You were a child. I feel like you kind of did, even as a child, when you were going through these difficult circumstances. This definitely feels like a passing of a loved one at one point. Somebody who lost somebody when they were a child, somebody when they were young. And the angels were surrounding you in love. And maybe you did feel it. And this is confirmation for you that your guardian angel was there. That they've always been there. And the person you lost is now one of your guardians as well. And if you thought you were connecting with them, or you've thought that you've been connecting with them recently, you have. All right, so let's see. This is all about, this is just a reminder of the greatest blessing of 2025 is just the powerful angelic protection that you have, that you've always had, but they're really going to be arranging the signs, the synchronicities for you to help guide you along your path. Remember, this is your pilgrimage year. This is your quest, okay? To assist you with unconditional, radical self-love, self-acceptance, sending yourself that love. Send yourself and your inner child your self-love daily, all right? And also they say here they may leave a little white feather as a reminder of their presence. So you guys pay attention to feathers. That's going to be relevant. And it might not be white for everybody, but it's going to be, you know what color, you know what kind of feather represents that energy for you. Let's see. This card reminds you that you are loved unconditionally. When you remember that, your self-worth, self-esteem, and confidence increase. You feel happier and more harmonious, and you view the outside world with eyes of love. Your guidance now is to see yourself as your angel sees you. Look for the good in yourself and others so that your heart center glows. Then your own etheric wings will spread and grow. People will sense them and be drawn to you, so enfold those who need comfort. If you need help, ask your guardian angel. If what you are asking for doesn't happen, either the timing is wrong or it isn't for the highest good, so let it go. Remember, don't knock, no, don't try to break down a closed door. Clear. God's rejection is God's protection. If the door isn't opening, it's not the right time or it's not the right door. So keep your desires in mind and try another door. And we have Archangel Preminelek on the bottom of the deck. And there's the butterflies. I feel like the butterflies too. Butterflies, bees, dragonflies, all the clear birds, all the animals of flight, the creatures of flight. Those are going to be your guardians and your guides this year, as well as I'm feeling jaguar and dragon. All right, I love you so much. And it is the year of the snake as well. So maybe some snake energy too. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. You guys I did a really long reading for you guys between these two, but it's because you guys have such a jam-packed year ahead of you. I will be here to guide you through it every single step of the way. I look forward to it. It is my honor and my privilege. And so if you are new to this channel, definitely subscribe. If you're still watching this, welcome to the tribe. Everybody else, you know how we do on here. We're going to have weekly live streams going on. We do special events sometimes. We have a Patreon. If you want to join that, bi-weekly group meditations and clearings, go ahead and join that. The link is in the description box below, as well as the channel membership. If you want to join, there's different perks for the different levels. So check it out if that feels aligned for you. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, all of the information to do that is in the description box below as well. Much love.